Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some interesting drama going on as of today. Now, we get to go and touch on this a little bit more in the earlier video, but it goes to show that a lot of folks are kind of skeptical and somewhat concerned on this brand new PlayStation 5 hardware. Now, when it comes to stuff, people are always kind of concerned, and spending money is always scary, and especially with the PlayStation VR 2, literally right around the corner as well, being over $550, a lot of folks are getting a little bit more skeptical on the price points and how useful everything is, and everything all in between. So, I just want to let everyone kind of know that I'm kind of on the strange side here because I do kind of always respect the idea of like a good pro controller, but as well, $200 and some kind of bad features that are apparently draining batteries even more, and a not long enough battery life is bringing a lot of people concerned. So we're going to talk about this, talk about the drama, and as well, I've also seen some more hands-on reviews and showcases and pictures and all that. I'm going to talk about that. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on as well for the brand new PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, or $500 giveaway. We have the Twitter and Twitch room down below. We have the Twitter and, I guess just Twitch down below. And of course, the Amazon and Target links too. So kind of the big drama for this one is that, as we mentioned, the brand new $200 controller is apparently, at least in the battery life, not as good as the actual original controller. So this is going to be getting a lot of attention, a lot of heat all throughout today, and especially with reviews too as well. We're going to go through that and kind of cite all the sources. But basically, the Sony's brand new $200 PS5 controller, which today probably had a huge embargo lifted because I had the PlayStation blog post that went live. So people kind of went and did a scroll through on that earlier. But as we've also been seeing other YouTubers who've had a chance to have an hands-on, I guess, approval for all this type of stuff. They just had a chance to physically feel it and touch and all of that. And apparently it's good. Like, apparently people like it, but there's a few caveats with it. So the Dualsense Edge, apparently those have better features. Obviously, you're spending more extra money with all the swappable features and the brand new like trigger pads and everything in between. Better textures, better build quality. But a lot of folks are kind of like, hey, how do we like make this better? You know, how do we do it this one? So Sony's new PS5 controller, which is the wireless DualSense Edge, looks normal enough, and I'd probably disagree. It actually looks kind of weird, but I mean, it's the controller, who cares? It has the right number of buttons and enough space to rest your hands on its boomerang-shaped plastic, but its extreme customization presumably explains why it cost $200. Almost 3 times the base price for the standard PS5 controller. A premium price for a premium product, I guess, as long as you're not expecting it to live as long as its predecessor. So Sony isn't really hiding that. So as of now in hands-on reviews, which I'll show you guys in a second from The Verge, it notes that PlayStation spokesperson Ken Zhang said that the new DualSense controller will have a moderately shorter operating time than the original PlayStation 5 controller, which has between 5 and 10 hours of charge. You know, obviously, if you have like a really big vibration game, or like you're running it like to the, like doing stuff the entire time, like you're probably gonna be having a more hardcore gaming experience. Now, that's kind of crazy too, because a 5-hour short time, and even going shorter than that, imagine having a controller for 3 hours. Now, you give me a controller can last like 7, 8, 10 hours, that's fine. Like, I'm not usually gaming that long. I mean, I'm a streamer. Like, I'll play games or do reviews. Like, I'm not usually playing games for more than 10 hours in one gaming session. It's kind of ridiculous. Some people do. I'm not judging. You have a weekend off. You're chilling, vibing. Why not? Brand new game comes out. Sure. But most of the time, I'm not doing 10 hours of gaming. 5 hours, though, you want to know, it's a weekend. Brand new game comes out, especially for me on Twitch. Yeah, I might go past 5 hours. Now, that doesn't even go towards, now they're saying it's even shorter. They're saying moderately, not just a little bit shorter, moderately shorter. So imagine like a 3 to 4 hour game session. After 3 hours, I would sometimes still be playing. If I'm playing with my buddies, playing with my friends, or a really good single player game, yeah, I probably will. And like sometimes I don't want to pause it up and break it. So they've said we've included many more features within the same form factor and ergonomic design as the original DualSense controller. Zhang continued. Additionally, the longer USB braided cable is also great for competitive players who prefer playing with a wired connection to avoid wireless interface. This option preserves battery life when it comes to that, which is nice to see. So Zhang did not specify on how much shorter battery life would be, and Sony did not immediately respond to Kotaku's request for elaboration. In any case, it seems like, according to Sony, the main pull of the DualSense Edge shouldn't be in the battery. Now, I think I kind of touched on this, or kind of like the general opinion on this, is that I'm someone who actually kind of likes the battery. Now, I mean, obviously, if you have other features, it's going to be more tax, and it's kind of a duh. But I kind of mentioned that I'm someone who, like, say, for a phone, I'd rather have a consistent, like, let's say 60 hertz, it's good enough for me, and then make my battery life longer. Because I mean, for say a phone or a controller, most of the time I care more about like, I don't have to charge it, I'm chilling. It's not the biggest deal just to plug it on in or plug and play. It's not, I mean, sure, that happens, it's whatever, it's fine. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like, well, 3 hours? I don't know. What if I'm comfy on my couch? I don't want to get up. You know what I mean? So it's kind of crazy to see this, but I kind of want to hear your thoughts. Like, do you guys even care? Are you guys even to buy the controller at the end of the day? I know it's $200, and I feel like it's more for like the very hardcore gamers on that side either way. But I kind of agree because they do have all these cool like descriptions and like all these other side features, more like in-depth games, more like it's more hands-on. I like it. I think it's cool. I don't know, at least in my opinion. So most of the DualSense's Edge's features can be mapped or changed, including its swappable joysticks, which you have to buy separately. 3 types of interchangeable stick caps, 2 types of mappable back button sets, and triggers with modifiable lengths. The controller will also have an on-controller user interface on its bottom side, which you can adjust volume with the headset connection, among other likely things, which is nice. Like, it actually does have more stuff built inside the controller, and most people's first hands-on reviews have been really enjoying it too as well. But like I said, a lot of folks have been complaining, because like I said, people want to have it be like a better battery life if it's a $200 controller, like 4 times the price, but as well, at the end of the day, people just want to like make sure their product is good. And don't forget, like over time, sometimes batteries do weaken. So what happens 3 years into the life cycle, 4 years into the life cycle, and if it's already like moderately, maybe like 3 to 4 hours, then it's going to be at 2 hours, and you have to get another one. Like, it kind of opens up to a little bit of like, you know, we'd have to see. But as we mentioned, we have had a lot of more, I guess, hands-on with people finally getting it, and at least people have been saying that they at least like it. Like a quick review is saying, hey, they spent 2 hours at the PlayStation headquarters trying all the above, and unless there are hidden flaws or the battery runs out mid-session, you're pretty sure this will be the best controller you can buy for $200, which is still good. I mean, battery life is one thing, but the actual controller itself and functionality and everything else is also nice. So they said the textures are great. Fantastic. They're like, when you basically feel that PlayStation 5, you just get that good feel, like you get a feel on your fingers. It feels good. It feels grippy. The triggers are now stippled with the PlayStation symbol too as well, so it looks way nicer and cooler. And I don't think the DualSense Edge actually even looks better, funny enough, because they said they prefer the white buttons, and they're not a fan of the new glossy fingerprint magnet. And I'm in the same boat, because then it kind of looks grimy and gross. But it does look cool. It does look nice. I mean, you can also kind of see just from like zooming on this picture, you can kind of see some of the fingerprints and like little scuff and dust pretty quick. Now, I'm not a big fan of that. That's kind of, I'm not a big fan of like gloss stuff alone. And obviously, I'm sure like other people aren't upset about that yet. I could see people being mad where it's like, it looks gross, it looks dirty. You know, I could honest to God see it. Like, it does look a little bit like of a pro, like a PR pro picture like this. If you can notice that quick, you know, it's kind of weird. So I also want to say, like, at least everything, though, is nice. Like, all the reviews and people saying, like, it feels good. Like, the extra functions make sense. And I do kind of wish this become, like, a standard for future games. Because, like, you can take things off. You can take things apart. You can, like, they have, like, slightly better features for the adaptive feedback, which is, as you guys know, is a big selling point for all the consoles. And it's cool to go and see, because you can also even program it. You guys can kind of look through some of the profile for it, where like you can literally go and program all these secondary options on the controller itself and kind of make everything look and seem pretty good. Now, I like this. I like the vibe of this. I like seeing this. At the end of the day, this is what we kind of need for the next step of gaming. And I can understand why people would maybe be upset on battery life or cost, which cost actually has been a big thing too, where a lot of folks are saying, same with the PlayStation VR, why would I want to spend so much extra money when the normal controller works? And I think that's a big thing to note too, is that I'm someone on more of a normal consumer. I'd rather just enjoy my games, play my PS5 when new console games come out, enjoy the exclusives, play with my buds. But I'm not someone who's like a hyper fixation on gaming, where I need to have the best things in PlayStation VR 2 day one. Sometimes, and it depends. But I don't know, like there is at least some valid critiques on it. Although, as I mentioned, a lot of the really nice things out here is that they're saying it's a good controller. Like the swapping the profiles to make it easier to go from like, say, like an RPG to an FPS to a racing game. It's fantastic features. Built-in actual like software to go make it easier for parties. The back like trigger analogs also apparently have been very good too as well. So we see all these different types of things, and they're also pretty much confirming that PC support is probably going to happen too. Mainly because they have a lot of PlayStation games coming out on PC, so it's a big duh that they want to be supporting that. which I think is a very nice thing to go and see with that. At least in my opinion, I think it's cool. I think it's awesome. So overall, it's weird because like you get things like a case. You don't really want to spend. I'd rather spend less money and get less weird accessories. I'm just gonna probably throw away or get rid of. But one thing they did go and note was still once again the battery, and they were saying that it is moderately shorter than the original Dualsense wireless controller because we've included many more features within the same form factor and ergonomic design as the original DualSense controller. So give me your thoughts. Do you think it's a game breaker? Do you just like the extra features? Do you just not care? Let me know down below. As well, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. Amazon links down below, Twitter and Twitch room down below, Target and Amazon links too. And I appreciate y'all so much for watching in the first place.